You're tired. Not stayed up too late tired. Tired in a way that sleep doesn't fully fix anymore. You've probably already tried the obvious stuff. More sleep, less caffeine. Maybe you got your iron checked. Maybe you cut back on stress, or told yourself you would, and it helped a little. But it didn't actually fix it. Here's the uncomfortable possibility. The thing draining you isn't sleep, or stress, or iron. It's a mineral most people never think about. And right now, somewhere between 48% and 65% of American adults aren't getting enough of it from food. Not occasionally, daily. That mineral is magnesium. And before you roll your eyes, yes, you've heard of magnesium. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Knowing you're low on magnesium and actually fixing it are two completely different problems. Most people who try to eat their way out of a deficiency still fail. Not because they chose the wrong foods, but because of something happening after the food enters your body that nobody talks about. This isn't a wellness blog mineral. Magnesium is a required cofactor in over 300 enzyme systems, the machinery that runs your energy production, your muscles, your heart rhythm, your blood sugar control. When it's running low, your body doesn't shut down dramatically. It just quietly stops running at full capacity. That's what tired actually is, biologically. So here's what we're doing. I'm going to rank the 10 most powerful plant-based sources of magnesium, based on actual USDA data and clinical research. But I'm not just giving you a list because a list alone won't fix anything. I'm going to show you why some superfoods on this list barely work, why one cheap seed outperforms foods 3 times more expensive, and why the most popular magnesium food in the world might be quietly failing you every time you eat it. By the end, you'll know exactly which foods to eat, how to prepare them so your body can actually use them, and why this isn't really about eating more, it's about eating smarter. Let's start with number 1. Not because it's the most magnesium dense in the world, but because it's hiding in plain sight in a way that changes how you should think about every food on this list. Number 1. Hemp seeds, the quiet winner nobody talks about. If you ranked plant foods purely by magnesium content, hemp seeds win. 3 tablespoons, about 30 grams, gives you 210 milligrams of magnesium, which is half your entire daily requirement. That's more magnesium than a cup of almonds, more than a cup of cooked black beans. From 3 tablespoons. But here's the part that actually matters, and it's the thing that's going to reframe this entire video. Magnesium content on a label means almost nothing if your body can't absorb it. Most seeds and nuts contain something called phytic acid, a compound that binds tightly to minerals like magnesium and drags them straight through your gut without absorption. It's why a food can look incredible on a nutrition label and still leave you deficient. Hemp seeds barely have this problem. Their phytic acid content is low enough that the magnesium inside is highly bioavailable. Raw, no soaking, no roasting, no extra steps. You scoop it onto oatmeal or blend it into a smoothie, and your body actually uses what it's given. There's a second layer here too. Hemp seeds are loaded with an amino acid called L-arginine, which your body converts into nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes and widens blood vessels. Magnesium does something similar through a different pathway, calming the same vascular tissue. Together, they're reinforcing the same cardiovascular effect from 2 different directions. This is the first clue that something bigger is going on with this list. The best food isn't the one with the highest number on a label, it's the one your body can actually unlock. Keep that in mind, because the food everyone assumes is the gold standard for magnesium is about to fail that exact test, in a way that's going to surprise you. The biggest myth: spinach is lying to you. If I asked you to name a magnesium-rich food right now, you'd probably say spinach. It's the poster child of healthy eating. Popeye built a brand on it, and on paper, spinach looks solid, about 87 milligrams of magnesium per half-cup serving. Cooked, respectable, comparable to a lot of seeds. Here's the problem. That number is almost meaningless. Raw spinach is loaded with oxalic acid, and oxalic acid does something specific. It binds directly to magnesium in your gut and forms an insoluble compound your intestines can't absorb. The mineral is sitting right there in the leaf. Your body just can't get to it. The research on this is blunt. Raw spinach's magnesium absorption is estimated at only 5% to 10%. That means if you eat a salad with raw spinach expecting a meaningful magnesium boost, you might actually be absorbing a small fraction of what the label promises. You did everything right, and your body barely benefited. This is why someone can eat spinach salads for months, feel like they're doing everything right, and still feel exhausted. It's not that spinach is bad. It's that eating it the wrong way creates the illusion of progress. The fix is almost insultingly simple. Cook it. Boiling spinach for just 3 to 5 minutes breaks down a huge portion of that oxalic acid. Research shows reductions of 30% to 87% in soluble oxalates. Discard that cooking water, and the magnesium that's left behind is dramatically more available to your body. This is the real reason eat more magnesium-rich foods is incomplete advice. The food matters less than what happens to it between your fork and your bloodstream. Spinach isn't a bad source, it's a source that punishes you for eating it the healthy, raw way. And if that's true for the most famous health food on earth, it raises an obvious question. What else on this list has been deceiving you the same way? The answer is bigger than just spinach, it goes all the way back to the soil, the food grew in. The systemic problem. Even perfect food has less magnesium than it used to. Here's something that has nothing to do with how you cook your food, and everything to do with where it came from. Over the past several decades, researchers have tracked a real decline in the mineral content of fruits and vegetables, somewhere in the range of 20% to 30%. Less magnesium than crops grown generations ago. This isn't about organic versus conventional, or some marketing angle, it's agronomy. Decades of intensive farming have acidified soil, and acidic soil leaches magnesium ions out of the root zone before plants can even absorb them. On top of that, heavy use of potassium-based fertilizer creates a kind of traffic jam at the NC plant's roots. Potassium and magnesium compete for the same uptake channels. And potassium often wins, even when magnesium is technically present in the soil. Then food processing compounds the damage. Milling whole wheat into white flour strips out 82% of its magnesium. Polishing brown rice into white rice removes 83%. Refining sugarcane into table sugar wipes out 99%. The mineral lives in the outer layers and germ of these foods, exactly the parts refining throws away. This matters because it removes the guilt from the equation. If you've felt like you're doing everything right and still coming up short, it's not necessarily a personal failure. The food supply itself has quietly shifted under your feet. That's precisely why concentrated whole food sources, the ones with the mineral packed densely into a part of the plant, nobody's refining away, matter more now than they did a generation ago. So let's get into the rest of the list, because once you understand absorption and soil quality, the ranking actually starts to make a lot more sense. The full countdown, from number 2 to number 10. You already know hemp seeds top the list, and you know why spinach is more complicated than it looks. Here's the rest of the ranking and the small preparation tweaks that make the difference between a food that looks good on paper and one that actually works in your body. Number 2. Pumpkin seeds. 1 ounce delivers 156 milligrams of magnesium to 37% of your daily value, plus a notable amount of zinc and tryptophan. That combination is genuinely interesting. Tryptophan feeds serotonin production, zinc helps convert it, and magnesium calms neurological excitability. 3 ingredients in 1 seed, working toward the same goal, winding you down for sleep. The catch: raw pumpkin seeds carry significant phytic acid. Soaking them in a light saline solution for 1 to 4 hours, then dry roasting unlocks meaningfully more of the mineral. Number 3. Flax seeds. Ground flax delivers 55 milligrams of magnesium per 2 tablespoons, alongside some of the richest plant-based omega-3 south available, but it has to be ground whole. Flax seeds whole is so tough it passes through your digestive tract, essentially untouched, taking its nutrients with it. Number 4. Chia seeds. Just under 100 milligrams of magnesium per ounce, plus more calcium gram for gram than milk. The seed forms a thick gel when hydrated, which is great for blood sugar control, but can physically block mineral absorption if you eat it dry. Soak it for 20 to 30 minutes first. Number 5. Almonds. About 79 milligrams per ounce, paired with high vitamin E, a combination that protects blood vessels from oxidative damage, while magnesium keeps them relaxed. The skin of raw almonds contains compounds that block absorption. Soaking for 12 hours or simply choosing blanched almonds solves this. Number 6. Cashews. Roughly 74 milligrams per ounce. With a strong dose of copper that helps build the collagen framework in your arteries and bones. Dry roasted varieties absorb better than raw, since heat breaks down the same phytic acid barrier we've seen throughout this list. Number 7. Swiss chard. 150 milligrams of magnesium per cooked cup. Genuinely excellent, but chard carries the same oxalate problem as spinach. The same fix applies. Boil it, discard the water, and the mineral becomes dramatically more available. Number 8. Black beans. 70 milligrams per 100 grams serving. And a legitimately clever mechanism: the fiber in beans ferments in your gut into short-chain fatty acids that actually lower colon pH, which increases magnesium absorption. Soaking dried beans for 8 to 12 hours and boiling thoroughly cuts phytic acid by up to 38%. Number 9. Edamame. 64 milligrams per serving, plus complete plant protein and bone-supporting isoflavones. Because it's harvested young, its phytate levels are naturally lower than mature soybeans, one of the easier wins on this list. Notice the pattern repeating across almost every single entry. It was never really about which food has the highest number. It's about whether you're preparing it in a way that lets your body actually use what's there. Soak it, cook it, roast it, or grind it. The right 5 minutes of prep can be the difference between a food that should help and one that actually does. So let's bring this back to where we started, because you came here tired, and that problem deserves a real answer. Here's what we actually found. Magnesium deficiency is shockingly common, not rare, not extreme, just normal, quiet, and largely invisible. It's tied to your energy, your blood pressure, your blood sugar regulation, your sleep, even your stress response. The clinical research backs all of it: meaningful drops in blood pressure, measurably faster sleep onset, real reductions in migraine frequency. But the deeper insight, the one that actually changes how you'll eat from now on, is that fixing this was never just about choosing magnesium-rich foods. It's about understanding that a number on a nutrition label is a promise, not a guarantee. Spinach taught us that. Soil depletion taught us that the deck is sometimes stacked before the food even reaches your kitchen. And the prep methods across this entire list, soaking, cooking, roasting, grinding, are the quiet, unglamorous steps that actually cash that promise in. You came in expecting a list of foods. You're leaving with something more useful. A way of thinking about food that explains why eating healthy sometimes doesn't feel like enough, and exactly what to do differently. So if you've been tired in a way that sleep alone doesn't fix, this might genuinely be the missing piece. Not eating more, eating smarter, and finally giving your body something it can actually use.